game, and that's what it comes down to the last quarter, and you're pitting yourself against the side, even though without its two key forwards, you know, it's got the ability to be able to still maintain that sort of pressure, and they just got away from us for about a 10-minute period there in the last quarter, and then they started kicking the ball around, and it took us a while to get the ball back off them, which wasted time and made them feel comfortable about what they were doing.
Great summary of the game, Harvs. I think that's exactly right. About 6 or 7 minutes in that last quarter, probably the difference between winning and losing. But normally, the Fremantle of old would have collapsed.
Yeah, I guess there's a real desire about individually players picking the team up when we go through a pressure situation or where the game looks like it's slipping away. And I think they're all understanding that responsibility, and it's not just left to too few. So that's important, provided they sustain that.
Your first month, Harvs, gone in a flash. Your assessment as coach?
Yeah, I mean, probably when you assess, you have a look at it after pre-season and see where your list is at from an injury point of view and a fitness point of view. We would have been reasonably happy. I would have suggested that if we had been 2-2. So to be 3-1 is put us in a quite a good situation. But you've got to make the most of going forward into the rest of the year.
Things are going swimmingly, but to look at it in isolation, Headland looked a bit proppy on the weekend. Was there anything wrong with him? McPhee must be sailing close to the win. His performances over the first month have to be said subpar.
Yeah, McPhee's probably, from a pressure point of view, he's doing a lot of things right for us. He's just got to make sure that he capitalises on the moments that he has in the game when he has the ball more than anything. And I think once he gets that, you're going to see the combination of Adam really adding to the team a lot more than possibly is. But defensively, he's working very hard and a lot of physical pressure. Desgard had knocked to his knee in the first quarter, which just disturbed his running gait. So we'll have to assess him during the week. And I mean, he's good defensively as well, and normally creates a couple of goals. But he was quiet on the weekend. So look, we did actually have a couple of players who were too quiet for us, and when you're playing against these sides, you can't have that.
Ballantyne was another. I mean, really, when you talk about McPhee, Headland, Ballantyne, all your small forwards.
Yeah, it's interesting, Carl, when they press so quickly, and if you don't take your shots when you get that ball in the mid-arc, and you allow them to get back quickly, your forwards are going to have a hard time, because quite often they're going to compete against their midfield or their forwards pushing inside our forward 50. So I thought at times we didn't move the ball appropriately or quick enough when we had the opportunity, and hence we were a little bit hesitant, and that caused a bit of congestion in our forward 50.
But that being the case, Harvs, with Palmer not far away coming back into the side, you'd think. He's obviously named as an emergency and came away, I think, with the team on the weekend. We were told that McPhee was going to play midfield. Clearly he's not going to stack up in that area, so are you going to be able to play Headland, Pavlich and McPhee all in the one forward line?
Yeah, it's interesting, Brad, where the game's going. A lot of your forwards can finish up going through the midfield as well. So, I mean, Pavlich is a classic example of that. Even on the weekend, Ballantyne, I had it, on the wing at certain stages there. So, look, I think when you have a look at our forward line, it's, we're one of the most efficient sides in the competition. So, and then I'd like to think that we've put really good pressure on down there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be changing it too much at this stage.
P.S., who you rewarded for good form in the waffle, though, he's probably better equipped than that other group we've just spoken about to go through that midfield and have his impact up forward. He kicked a couple. He was good.
Who's that, Reece?
No, Pearce. Clancy.
Pearce. Sorry, Pearce, yeah. No, he's quite elusive. He made the most of coming back into the team, I thought. Sometimes, he just needs some tutoring about when the game's in transition. But he's had a big pre-season himself and wasn't... I thought he would play well at Waffle, and he's earned his selection in the team. And it's a matter of him now sustaining that and playing well collectively.
If anything happened to Van Berlo, because he started like a bomb and then we didn't see him.
Yeah, well, he's pitted against some pretty good players. They rotate some players at, Montagna and Milne and these sort of guys, and Del Sano, they rotate them through, their wings and their running forward position, and so quite often Jay found himself pitted against those guys, particularly Montagna he was on. So, sometimes that can take its toll. Don't forget he's only a second-year player himself, so he's playing against more seasoned campaigners, but what he does do, he puts himself in every contest he makes difficult.
Paul Duffield is set to play his 50th game against Richmond, big Anzac Day clash. Fremantle always do it wonderfully well, but ever since he was challenged and sent back to the waffle, he's just been a new man.
Takes the game on more than anyone, you know, to the nth degree, which you need in your team. You need players, playmakers that can create opportunities, and sometimes with that they'll take too big a risk at times, and sometimes you may suffer the penalty. But as we know, with zoning and opposition and the way they defended the game, then you need these guys. And yeah, look, it's been a credit to the way he's come back after what he did go through. He's had a slow career in games, and he's done it the hard way. So it'll be a great feat for him to do it on Anzac Day. That's important. It's an important day for sport, and I'm going to make sure that our players understand the importance of playing on Anzac Day.
Anything special you've got in mind, Harvs, because you're going to be preparing to play, arguably, the bottom side, the wooden spooner for the season?
Yeah. That can be sometimes trouble in itself. That day brings a significant battle, and it doesn't really matter where you are on the ladder. All the players understand the importance of the day and why we're celebrating this day, and how hard the soldiers and word that they fought for this country. So I'll be going over a couple of those stories throughout the course of the week, I'd imagine.
What about your own performances, Mark? I mean, there was suggestions that Fremantle should sign you up again. There was a report in the Melbourne Press on the weekend that you'd put talks on hold. Where are you at with that?
I haven't put talks on hold, but I just really knuckling down and trying to make sure that the team can sustain what it's doing, and in time, whenever the club feels it's warranted to sit down and talk, we will. Other than that, all I'm doing is getting entrenched into what the players are doing with all the other coaches.
Simon in Wembley, one of your fans, he said the Dockers went 7 points up in the third quarter. The Saints scored a goal straight after a free kick against Ballantyne. That was the incident that gave the free kick, and Ballantyne was benched. He's asking the question.
Yeah, probably something we have to chase up during the week. Our understanding was that it wasn't a hell of a lot in it, but I'll take that up with behind closed doors with Jeff Gooch. I'd imagine it was a big moment in the game.
I can't recall that incident. What would Ballantyne alleged to have done?
It was off ball, Brad. There was
right.
A bit of pushing and shoving. That was my understanding.
And what are they concentrating on this week? Harvs seemed to be hands in the back on the weekend. Was on fire amongst others.
I tell you what, you blokes, if you can find out for me first, just let us know.
Mate, that off the ball stuff, Harvs. On Friday night at Subiaco Oval, I said the memo's gone out. The off the ball. Daniel Kerr got 3 free kicks, I think, in the first 5 minutes against Welsh, something like that. That's why Ballantyne got pinged, mate. Any of that stuff off the ball on the weekend was they were red hot.
Well, we used to get some either emails or faxes about what they were looking at, but that correspondence
not anymore.
Hasn't come forward, no.
Well, good on you, Harvs. Well done. 3-1, closing in on Anzac Day. You do it better than any other team in the competition. Good luck against the Tigers on Sunday night.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey, before you go, what's it feel like for everyone to be talking about Fremantle in this way? I mean, you've been down there when it's been the other way around.
Yeah, no, look, it's pleasing to see your players just feeling confident about what they're doing. The adulation and the press and all that's, you've got to make sure that your players are still on guard about what lies ahead. So it's always interesting chemistry within the football club, and you guys should know that.
Have you had any trouble buying a roll or a coffee in the cappuccino strip over the last month?
No, I'm getting a few offers down there at the moment.
That's what happens. Jump on the caboose.
Good on you, Harv. Well done.
Okay,
Good luck.
Bye.
Mark Harvey there, the coach of the Fremantle Dockers. We'll take